of it. You never heard it all before.
Woo! I'm super pumped. It worked, the whole thing, and I forgot to hit the record button. So everybody at home, the opening worked. And remember, go to our simplefishing.ca, and you can save $10 on your first subscription box using the discount code FearFishing. I was so excited tonight to get this started. We got breaking news.
Yes, we do.
We got breaking news. We got a ton of stuff.
Call.
The world of bass fishing has been turned upside down. Tournament bass fishing in the United States. It may get to Canada. There could be changes coming here in the near future. We're only about 10 years behind the United States in general. So 15 years from now, we could have a whole new tournament.
We could.
The face of tournament fishing could look different around the world. I am jazzed up tonight. FearFishing webcast. To my left, the guy sitting beside me. What's up, homie?
How you doing, guys? Mark Hunter, Bowmanville, Ontario.
I kind of left you hanging there.
Forgot where I was from there.
Okay.
What I had to say.
Pumped up. We even got it like an opportunity here.
The intro working didn't.
It messed everybody up.
Yeah.
Sean McCall sitting over there by him lonesome.
Aw.
How's it going, homie?
Aw.
I'm all right.
You're doing good?
Doing well.
My microphone does not want to work still.
I hear it.
Does it working? Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And folks at home, if you can hear me, let us know. Also, get your questions in. Get your comments in. It's going to be a big night. Amber will keep her eyes open. Sean McCall will keep his eyes open. Exciting.
I'm not keeping my eyes open.
We had such breaking news here at like 7:53.
Yep.
We came on 2 minutes late. What do you guys want to start with?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, hold on. Amber, why don't you start by talking about giving up your job position? Whoa. 7 shows. Finally, she shows her face.
There you go. That's what Amber looks like, everyone.
Hi.
Shit's not working.
What?
My microphone is no good. I think
it's
that's better.
working.
So, Amber, tell the exciting folks at home.
I'm looking for a producer to replace me.
Yes, Amber has decided she does not want to sit behind the producing seat. Scott Walton, the beauty he is, he's busy on the Monday nights that we do the show. So we are looking for a new producer for the FearFishing webcast. If you know about Mac computers, you want to be a part of this crazy jungle,
You can do Google searches.
send us an instant message if you live in the area. The pay is below nothing. It'll cost you money to be part of this.
Yes, it will.
It'll be long hours.
Yes, it will.
I'm not as friendly in real life as I am on the vlog and when the camera's running.
No,
I
you're
yell
not.
at people. It's really hard to keep people to hang out around here.
So any
You'll have to manage the scuba divers so that the vlog, there's fish on them, stuff like that. If
So-
you're interested in this, go ahead, Mark.
So your qualifications need to be what? You can use a Mac computer.
Mac computer. You need to be
That's it.
you need to be tech
That's it.
savvy. We're not looking to just replace Amber. We're looking to make an upgrade.
Ouch.
And not like you don't have to be as pretty as Amber.
Somebody's going to bed alone.
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Totally. See, I told you guys all.
And
You're not
it's
going to like me.
Wow.
Yeah, on the couch, woman. No, I'm totally kidding. We're looking. If you know about Mac computers and a little bit about editing and producing the show, give us a call. DM us. Don't call.
Yeah, don't
DM. Send an instant message. You can be, you know what?
And don't
Somebody,
email.
a lucky winner is going to get to see behind the scenes look. There will be a lie detector test. You can't be on any pro staff. You guys got anything else you want to throw out there?
Confidentiality.
Oh, you have to sign a
yeah.
confidentiality agreement.
We're going to have Sheldon write it up for us.
Sheldon,
Yeah.
Sean, you'll have to go to Dark Alley, and he'll give you the pep talk about how you don't. The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Yep.
It's a good opportunity. Trust me, we have a ton of fun here. If you're the man or woman, send us a DM. Where do you guys want to start with? We got so much news.
Oh,
Like
you
we're never
guys
going to
just
cram
got-
this into 7 hours.
You guys just got off classic, did you not?
Oh, did we ever?
A 2-day classic.
It was a 3-day classic, Mark.
No, I mean for you guys.
We fished the CSFL Classic on Balsam Lake, also known as Ballsack Lake, because over the years I've had a really hard time there. The most phenomenal pre-fish ever.
Yeah,
It was
you guys
awesome.
You guys were jacked.
I love Balsam Lake.
Yeah, I know you did.
He
I
would.
I like fishing Balsam Lake.
You guys were jacked for pre-fish.
We had a amazing
Solid
pre-fish.
game plan. We had a really, really good game plan. We caught fish from 1 feet to 20 feet of water.
That's why they call it a game plan on the game day plan.
Yeah, we had 3 days of fish.
Yeah, man.
for sure.
We did. So
what's up?
here's
So
how
what
we
hap-
did. We did.
what
So
happened?
day one bothers me a lot more than day two. I'm going to say this up front. First, I want to thank the Pilata family and everybody involved in that series, and the volunteers and their employees who put it on all year. Great
Yeah, they
run
worked their
series.
tails
I had
off.
a really good time. I want to thank all the anglers who participated.
Mm-hmm.
At the first event, one gentleman who we didn't know talked to us. I know his name, and I totally forgot. But by the second day of the classic, how many anglers stopped while we were trying to put the boat on and talk to us?
All kinds
And
of.
it was unbelievable. I was
Yeah.
honest to God speechless of how many people stopped their pickup truck who had never met before, maybe said hello during the tournament. It seemed to like build through. We were like the black sheep at tournament one on sturgeon, but by
You're
the
the black sheep.
I know.
You
I'm
were the
trying-
black sheep. Yeah, let's get this-
Then there's me.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm trying to
a
use
different
the,
cat
I'm trying
out
to
there.
use the we
Yeah.
word here, but I was the black sheep. You know, I think
you,
people.
You looked at yourself like the black sheep. Maybe
I
you
did,
weren't
I know.
so
Nah,
much of the black
yeah.
sheep you thought you were.
You're kind of hard on yourself.
I am sometimes, but
Yeah.
I by
More
the end
people
of
like
the,
you than you think.
by the
Yeah.
end of this day two, I was totally speechless about how many people came by and said you're doing great things and phenomenal tournaments.
We're all in this show together. You
Yeah,
know?
man.
We really are.
Maybe it's just you.
I don't know. It's
We're all
tough
out
being
there
the
to have
guy.
fun and
Yeah.
compete and
So day one, pre-fish went awesome. Day one, we weighed in 12.8. I really believe that we hooked 18.8 worth of fish, and they jumped off the hooks, which bothered me. When we went to weigh, I was a little
bothered
disappointed.
you.
I'm trying to do the we thing again
Who
here.
lost the
Yeah,
fish?
yeah.
Sean, did you
Sean
lose the
lost
fish?
3 good ones. I lost 1 good one.
Jerk baits?
No, well,
Yeah.
I made a mistake in the morning. I switched up my topwater rod. Switched the rod, switched the reel.
Totally. The time to be switching rods.
Well, I had a feeling, man. It just wasn't the setup. Nothing
Hooked on
wasn't what
a
I liked. And
feeling.
I swapped it out. Made a couple casts. Well, we come up on this one, like we seen a group of fish, and we seen a really good one in that group of fish.
Yep.
And it was all around this one wee clump, and we were like, all right, we backed off her. We gave it a couple of minutes, fired over with a popper, pop, and it come up and just went and sucked it in.
Oh, you know that's a,
Yeah,
big
that's a good
fish,
one.
eh?
When
That's
they
a
when
big
they don't
fish.
explode,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
When
a good
you don't-
fish.
Yeah.
I set hook, and I felt it right away. It was like, boom, you just hit a brick wall, and I'm like, oh yeah, boom, boom, and I was like, oh, my drag, and it just thunk, and it popped right out. I still have my drag tightened right up
Why?
because it was one of my flipping reels, right? And I had my drag tightened right up, and I felt it like he had it, and I
Yeah,
I
he
You're
had
running
it.
pulled
this
it
on,
right
so
out.
you're
I
running
pulled
this
it
on
right
a
out.
bait caster.
Yes.
Yeah, my top water. Oh yeah.
Like most real men.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Who's that?
Is that you?
Is that you? You getting phone calls?
Yeah, I'm getting phone
Another
calls.
break
Who is it?
story.
Who is it?
Mike Carnegie.
What does he want?
I don't know.
Bring him in on the show.
Say what's up.
You're live.
Mike.
Hey, Mike. Hi, how's the mic? We had our first phone-in caller in so
Yeah,
long.
we're actually doing a show right now.
We're
Mike, and
live?
You're live on it right now.
Ask him if you've seen Mike Gray.
Yeah, how's it going, Mike? Obviously, Mike doesn't watch the show. He'd know you were busy.
Yeah, way to go for support. my best friend that right into fishing now, and he won't watch the show,
He wasn't watching the show.
but he wants a sticker and a shirt.
Oh, yeah?
Just stopped at the boat. I went fishing today.
Did you catch anything?
Yeah, caught a handful of bass, so we went up to Seymour.
Nice. Good lake.
Great Lake.
Yeah,
The lake's really turning around. It's got a future.
It wasn't too busy as well, but there was a couple boats, a handful of boats out there. So that's lake number 24 this year.
Beautiful.
Attaboy. You know, okay, I'm gonna tell you who Mike is. Mike is my best friend since like grade 6. He gave me a call last year.
Whoa. What does that make Sean and I?
Not Mike. Yeah, I didn't know you were in grade 6. So anyways,
So in the world of best friends, we're about 7 and 8.
Probably.
You're
Wow.
around there, you're around there.
Wow.
So anyways, Mike calls me last year. He says, "Mark, you take me fishing." Like we you know, you have families, you have children, you kind of lose,
Yep.
contact for a little
Everybody
while.
gets busy.
Yeah. So he called me last year, and I said, "Okay, let's go fishing, man." So we went out, and we just smashed him. And you know what?
Smashed him.
That was the worst thing I ever could have done to his wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did Mike not only, he went and bought one of Chris and Corey's boats.
He did, yeah. A nice, beautiful Ranger.
Nice.
And then a truck to pull it.
Nice.
And then he still didn't have any rods.
Mike, do you have $5,000 per event? We're going to get into this, but would you have $5,000 to put into having a professional bass series in Canada per event?
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Ask him.
Do you have $5,000 to put into a
Per event.
per event for a series?
8 events.
8 events, $40,000 a year.
No.
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 See?
Okay, so we got one angler out.
Yeah, that's one guy. Out.
One guy gone.
He's already cashed a check this year too, hasn't he, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did in Clubby,
Yeah,
didn't he?
Yeah, he won the Hyper Tour Classic.
You look really nervous right now.
Why am I nervous?
I don't know.
Well, I'm kind of got a phone stuck up here. You know, I've never been the what do you call it, AV guy.
The AV guy. Yeah. So, Mike, do you have a final thought before we let you go? Because we're right in the middle of something.
Sorry, I can't hear. It's real muffled.
Okay, do you have a final thought before you let you go? Because we're kind of in the middle of a show here, dude.
This is the best.
Okay, no worries. I actually called to check on some equipment from you, some Daiwa equipment.
Woo!
Oh,
Daiwa.
Yeah, hey, hear that, Kyle? We got phone-ins asking for your stuff.
Yeah, isn't that something?
So, but I won't bother you. I got to actually head out to the hockey arena as well, too. But never hesitate to make a quick call and talk some fishing. I'll call you maybe tomorrow morning, Mark.
You're just like your dad. You just ramble on, buddy. Okay. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for being on the show, Mike.
All right. Ciao, buddy.
See you, Mike.
So where were we? We lost some big fish day 1. Weighed in 12.8, got to the scales, a little disappointed.
Yep.
Day 2, we go out, we blast off, and the lake's miserable. And the wind is pounding on our spots.
Oh.
Now, the key to our whole setup, there was billions of little tiny bait fish on all our spots.
Yep.
We pull up to spot on day 2. Sean makes like 3 casts, hooks a keeper smallie. So we thought they were there. Yeah. Guess what? That was the only fish there.
Oh,
Sean got him. That's how good Sean is. Great big flat. Sean got the only one there on 3 casts.
That zoned right in on him.
Attaboy.
So we scrambled a bit. Our second best spot where we'd hooked a bunch of fish, because of the way the wind was blowing, a quarter of the field had ended up there. So we knew there was big fish there, and there was a ton of boats who were just trying to get out of the wind. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't fish our fish. There was guys who we'd never seen in the whole week there.
Really? Yeah?
And they were just trying to get out of the wind.
Yeah,
it wasn't
one of those spots.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was fishable. There was fish there, and to get out of the wind, that was one of the only spots on that side of the lake that was
it was a
sheltered.
It was bad.
Windy weekend.
Oh,
wasn't it? Yeah.
And the other thing, east winds, and it was getting colder.
Yeah.
A lot colder throughout the event.
Yeah.
Like we were wearing winter clothes.
Cold.
Yeah, like day 1 to day 3 was like 15.
Yeah, like day 2, we were dressed up like in everything we could possibly find in the truck and boat.
I had on my full Under Armour cold gear, man.
Sunday morning, I blasted off with a two-con.
Yeah.
I did, I swear to God.
And
flying away.
The Thursday of pre-fish, we were complaining how hot it was out there. Do you not remember?
Yeah,
the sun was it was like 31, felt like 41.
Yeah. Day 2, we grabbed a
cold.
Coffee.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
It was bad.
Just a wind out of your sails, eh?
Yeah,
I'm like,
man.
Ian, go pull up there. We're going in. I got to go and grab
Got a coffee.
Jeez.
So we did her.
Day 2, we only weighed in 4 fish. We just, we could not get that 5th bite. We tried everything on that lake. We probably had 6 or 7 really good areas. Mm-hmm. We fished some of them in 4-foot chop and just couldn't. The bait was blown.
A lot of it was me. I couldn't keep a fish button, man. But that's jerkbait fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Those troubles,
So day 2 bothered me a lot less. Like there's not a lot you can do when your bait blows away and the fish follow them and you got 4-foot waves. I can totally eat that and live with that. I was a little bothered day 1 that we didn't at least get that we hooked the fish, that we did everything right. The pre-fish plan went to go and we just couldn't keep them buttoned.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because we had an amazing pre-fish.
Yeah, we did.
We had an amazing pre-fish. We had like 6 spots, 6 good spots. That we made a little milk run, and it was just bang, 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 bang. And every spot we went to, we'd get a fish.
And we had it down to timing too.
Did you have fun pre-fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a blast pre-fishing.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Did you have any naps when you were pre-fishing?
Yeah, Sean did. Oh, I never even thought. Sean had a nap. So listen to this. I'm casting, so we've decided we're going to break up pre-fish and nap time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm casting. catch a couple fish. I turn around, he's snoring,
I know.
like right out cold.
You posted a video on
I
our little
did.
chat thing.
I was dragging a tube.
Right?
You did have you had a rod in your
I
hand.
was dragging
but
a
you were
tube.
snoring, man.
Snoring. So
Taking a
then
break.
Sean got up, and I sat down, had some food, and I fell asleep. And I wake up, and he's pounding on pound and a half, 2 pound fish, just one after another.
Got to go through them to find the big ones.
So, like an idiot, I jump up, and I'm like, here, let me show you how to jerk bait. I make one cast, right? And I'm like dancing on the front
He's
of the boat.
doing the stupidest jerk bait retrieve. He's mocking me, right? He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
look at me. Guess who taught me how to throw jerk bait? And whappy whaps a fish. And I'm like, oh, yeah, eat a bag of dicks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he pulls in this fish, casts out again. Hey,
Yeah.
carry on.
Stick this next fish, right? And then that fish sticks me with the hook,
Well, we all knew that was coming at
right?
some point.
And it's buried. And I'm attached to and at one point, the smallmouth's freaking out, and I just put my hand out and let him go. Like, there's nothing I could do.
Oh, it was hanging off the jerk bait,
Little
and
tiny
I'm looking,
peanut.
the hook's buried right in his finger, and it was right in beside his fingernail, the hook, and I was laughing.
He was laughing.
And I got a fish of my own, right? And he's like, "Help me, dude!" And I'm like, "No, I got to deal with my own deal."
So
here."
I have
I should
this-
ask him to take a
Yeah,
picture
have
of
at
your
her.
fish. Can you get
Yeah.
a picture?
So I have a mega bass jerk bait
yeah.
buried into a fish. The only, like, if we could have stuck the fish on day one of the classic, like I stuck that one wasn't coming off. I've got him pinned.
true.
I got him pinned against my chest, trying to, like, begging him not to move, and he freaks out, and I just held my hand out and let him do his deal, right? So I'm like, Sean first tries to take the hook out of the fish, which doesn't work because my thumb or my finger is not going to bend the way he needs to take the hook out. So Sean, thankfully enough, cuts the hook. So I'm free.
With your rusty pliers.
No. We just greased them.
No, I greased him after that.
No, yeah.
After that, yeah.
So the fish is back in the water, safe as can be, and I've got this hook in my hand, and I'm not like it's deeper than the other two I had this year, quite a bit deeper. So
it was buried. Yeah.
it was gone.
It was
and so it was bad enough that I was like, "You're gonna have to pull it out," but I don't want to film it.
No, you were like, "We got to go," and I'm like, "Go where?"
Yeah, totally.
You're
That
like-
did
You
happen.
wanted to go?
You're like, "You're not
It
going to
was
pull
like
that
gone,
out."
man.
I'm like,
gone.
all day I'm pulling that out of you. We're not leaving. We're pre-fishing.
Where do you
He's
want
like, "Dude."
It
I'm
was like gone. You couldn't see like the bend in the hook. Like it was. So I sit down and there's the video released, and then
Wait,
there's
you thought you needed surgery.
no.
So
I
you're-
thought we were going to need some freezing because I wasn't sure. It was
If-
going
if
like
you-
no,
if-
it wasn't like it
you
wasn't.
You
I
weren't
wasn't
sure if
worried.
your balls were with you, or
Listen,
I told him to sit down and hold
Listen,
on to his vagina.
my-
I'd take
my-
care of it all.
my concern wasn't that he was going to pull it out. My concern was he was going to pull and it wasn't going to come out.
yeah.
That was my worry. But
Are you
Sean,
kidding me?
So I know totally. If you
I
watch
pull
the
something,
video,
it's coming.
yeah. If you go to the FearFishing live wall, you can watch the video, and he gives her
a
like.
good yank. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
then he-
two
then he
videos
laughs.
though, right? So there's the first video where the camera's running, and I'm not aware that my cell phone's running, and you can hear the two of us swearing back and forth. And I've asked him 50,000 times, "Are you sure you can do this?" Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Kind of sure.
So in the
I should have
video,
gave it a little push before I pulled.
I'm holding the camera like this, right? I'm holding the camera like this, but I have my eyes closed. And if there's anybody who's slow at taking a hook out, it's Sean McCall. He really likes to talk about.
You give me the world's shittiest pliers to work
No.
with.
Those are top-notch Daiwa pliers. They've been on front of my boat in the rain all summer.
Yeah. I got to use two hands to open and close them.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, he gives her like a toss, and like he really like if somebody's gonna pull a hook, Sean McCall would be the guy. He's got a lot of momentum.
And just with the pliers on the hook, not the old string or
No,
the line trick.
are you kidding me? I'm not letting him tie a line around my hand.
I don't think that line trick would work too good on those mega bass hooks because the barb is on the outside.
Yeah.
That was the whole
Oh,
reason I didn't.
So the best part, here's the best
Right.
part. We
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
camera going, right? So he's sitting on like my front deck, and I'm sitting on my seat, and he's got a hold of my hand, and I'm trying to like give him my hand, but you know, like your reaction is to take your hand away.
Yeah.
He puts his foot on my knee, and I go, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm trying to get leverage," and I'm like, "Jesus."
I was
I
planning
would've-
on pulling his finger right off if it didn't come out.
Remember how you took that first rock bass off when you were a kid? You stepped on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I would have did to your hand, buddy. Just-
Oh, It was, honest to God, it was a lot deeper than the leg hook pike fishing. But
I get to pull that one out too.
That one was a lot deeper.
Is there a time where you guys have fished and not hooked each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever think of a Band-Aid?
Rice.
I do have a first aid kit.
Yeah. Do you have your first aid kit with you?
And it wasn't as bad. The best one of the year is when I did the live target crankbait into the thumb at Lake Ontario, and Scott Walton turned white. Like, I mean white. And that fish was like attached to me again, and I've got him, and he's shaking, and I'm like, Scott is a better friend than Sean, because Scott offered to take me to the hospital right away. That he didn't care that there was 4-pounders all the way. In that circumstance, I was like, no. They were like, we were around 1 and 2s, not 4s. So in Scott's circumstance, I was like, I'm pulling it because we ain't leaving, right?
Really?
So I pulled that one. That one, the live target hook came out nicely out of a thumb.
Wow.
The one at Balsam Lake came out pretty good, the mega bass hook, but the one pike fishing, it came out of leg. I feel like leg skin's a lot thicker than thumb skin or finger skin. The leg one, it went through jeans, then me, and then it went out through me and then jeans.
Oh,
Sean got all that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
You just gotta give her a little
but
pull.
you can feel the hooks going by your head when he's casting a jerkbait. I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah, ask him how many times I duck.
Every time.
Yeah. I'll just fish on the back then.
Every time.
As soon as you
Every time. As soon as I get that in, he's already got his eyes on me, and he's already crouching, ready for my wind up.
Because if you don't, I heard hooks go by my ears.
I'm kind of nervous going pike fishing with you now, buddy.
You should be nervous going anywhere with that guy.
I'll keep you safe.
So it was a great event. We ended up in 50th place, I believe.
Wow.
Is that right? We didn't do too bad. But day one bothered me a whole lot more than day two. And thank you to the Pilata family and all the volunteers and all the tournament anglers who participated this summer, and especially the guys who cashed checks and came over and had kind words to say.
I heard there was a question going around that nobody could answer.
Which one is that?
Anybody seen Mike Gray?
I seen Mike Gray. Mike Gray just tuned in.
Did he?
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, brother. Hope you caught that.
Sean, do you want to talk about the T-shirt idea?
No.
No?
No. We're going to save that and sell it next year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, we were at the CSFL Classic. You were at the Hyper Tour Classic.
Yes, I was.
What lake was that on?
That was on Sturgeon.
Yes, how'd it go?
It went not so... Oh, day one was okay. You know, I missed some fish. I saw some really big ones. I weighed like 12 pounds or something like that. But day two was off. I only got 2 fish.
Now, you have... Did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. Unfortunately, the draw was kind of messed up. I was the last one to sign up, so I had to fish it alone. So I was fishing against teams of 2. I was the only boat.
Yeah, that's a tough go. I had to fish a few clubbies last year. 3 of them actually by myself.
Yeah. And you know what?
Oh, you fished by yourself.
My first cast with a spook, dude.
Yeah.
3.91.
No way.
Right in front of Dwayne.
So speaking about spook, Balsam Lake is known for its topwater bite. I couldn't get any hits on a spook or a popper, but I did catch them on a 1/8 ounce buzzbait.
Yeah.
But with a tube on the body for weight to cast it.
Really, eh?
And we're talking the blade on the buzzbait was about the quarter of the size of a regular buzzbait.
And
little tiny one.
Just cooking it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
just
then
cooking it.
That 3 that I hooked on that weed bed, that fish caught if it would have stayed warm, that buzzbait bite was gonna go.
Yeah.
Because when they hit that,
Did you throw it on day 2?
no, you couldn't cast it on the
wind?
waves.
No.
I did throw it a little bit on day
wind.
1.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did show up to our spot.
We tried to stick her out in the wind as much as we could.
We really
right?
did.
Like that
But
was
during
the deal.
pre-fish, I threw one in 14, 15 feet of water on the edge of a weed bed, and 3-pounder come up and just crushed it.
Really? Eh?
It was gonna go. I really think that if that wind would have stayed and it would have stayed warm, that buzzbait bite was gonna be killer.
Yeah. It was windy out there, man. And on day 2, I went back to the fish that I saw that I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And they were replaced by 8 and 10 inchers.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's always a bad gig.
Yeah.
Now, before we go any deeper here, make sure you get your questions and comments out. But we also have a giveaway tonight.
We do.
We have a very special giveaway. There is an RLM. You want to hold that up, Marcus, in front of our camera?
Oh, yeah, there it is.
We got an RLM Elite box, your choice between a bass box, a walleye box, pike box, or a multi-species box.
Yep.
all we need is the best answer to. Are you guys ready? Since there's so many great tournament anglers out there who have nicknames, like Kevin Van Dam has KVD,
Yep.
Mike Iaconelli has Ike, Seth Fighter has the Fighter Man,
Yep.
right? There's a ton of them. We want to know if you had a son or daughter and you were going to name them so that they had a great fishing name or a great fishing nickname, what would it be?
Yeah.
The winner gets an RLM Elite box. Go, folks. We'll have it sent to you. It's amazing. How many?
So this is just comments for tonight's show, right?
This is
Yes.
just
We're going to
tonight's
pick the
show.
winner from
We're
tonight's
going to
show.
pick the winner before
Yeah.
the end of the show. So get your comments in. Sean and Amber can follow along. Questions, comments. We got a ton of stuff to go
Yeah, we
through.
do.
Well, like an absolute ton of stuff. We're going to do the big stuff in the second part of the show. We're actually going to take a break because this thing's going to drag on.
Yep.
Now, I live in Port Hope, Ontario. They're filming the movie It here.
They are.
The
Part
sequel,
two.
The sequel.
The sequel.
The sequel.
They already filmed It, and now they're filming the sequel to
And
It.
they did a lot of that in Oshawa. Or some of it
Yeah, in
anyways.
Son of an Oswald. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Stephen King was in town. He,
Yeah,
I know.
filming in my friend's store.
Yes.
So
So that is pretty cool. The other big thing that is going on in Port Hope right now is the Great Chinook Salmon Run. And there's been some
boy.
problems.
Oh, boy, has there.
There's been some real problems.
Couple fish die.
A lot of fish died. There was a warm spell and the fish went into shock and the piers were covered in fish. But the poaching hasn't slowed down at all.
No.
Mark and I, with our beautiful wives, were downtown on Saturday night before the fair, and there's people using treble hooks. There was a lady and her son standing in the middle of the river in the
With a
rapids with a
net.
net, no fishing rod in hand.
And there was another lady across the way just standing at the shore with a net.
It hasn't slowed down at all.
With a net.
With a
standing there
net,
with
just a net.
Net,
Gonna net
yeah.
them
Oh,
right in the middle of the
like
rapids.
catching butterflies.
I went for a walk at Bowmanville Creek, and it was the same thing.
You-
Last night with my wife and my daughter.
And I've seen a ton of posts. We saw an angler today who just grabbed a salmon that he had hooked in the mouth.
Yeah.
Grabbed him by the tail and got a
Treble?
jig head and a treble hook caught in his hand.
Yeah.
There's been reported cases of salmon carcasses all over the place that have just been gutted and left. The town of Port Hope, if the wind blows the wrong way, you can hardly stomach it down there.
Yeah,
it was
a
bad.
nasty smell.
We still
very
have
nasty.
salmon problems.
Yeah.
Gigantic salmon problems in the world of Port Hope, and I'm sure it's at every creek that those salmon run up. What's the answer? How do we stop the poaching? It's not even poaching at this point. It's just a total disrespect.
It's not fishing.
It's not even
all.
fishing.
Well, that goes back to the funding of the Ministry of Natural Resources. I think.
yeah.
I think the government should kick in a little more bucks. And
Yeah. And they
You know,
need to
try
make
to
an
police it a little
example
better.
of somebody.
They
Like,
do.
and here's the thing. I really don't like guys who have expensive gear and like float rods and float reels and Sims waders and, the whole 9 yards. You see them fishing a 3-foot pole with a 9-foot lead because people look up to them. I went down to and they know the fish aren't biting. They have to know. Fish like the salmon, you're basically line drifting them even when you hook them in the mouth. I really think that there's. I went down there this morning. I went for a drive. I saw a little tiny kid with a 9-foot rod float fishing. That's
Yep.
really what that is there for,
Yep.
right? That kid's gonna catch the biggest fish of his life, right? They're accessible, but I don't think you should be taking pictures of a beat up Chinook salmon and posting it on Facebook like you won an award. It wasn't that hard to do. He couldn't
No, it
even get
wasn't.
away from you. There was 3,000 of them in the pool,
Yep.
right? And you snag 17 of them to hook one in the mouth. I think we have a huge conflict and we need to find a solution to this. I really don't want to see the Ganareska anywhere closed, but I'm really starting to lean between closing that from Peter Street all the way through town to the LCBO bridge where they get bottleneck, and this seems where the real poaching goes on.
It's just a slaughter.
It is
But
just a
it's all
slaughter.
it
It's not even
is.
fishing. It's just a
Yeah.
slaughter fest.
Yeah. And word's out because there is a ton of people down there.
Yes,
too.
there is a lot of people,
Yeah.
and it's good to see people. But if you've never fished before and you show up with a 6-foot spinning reel from Canadian Tire and you're just here to fish, you look at the guy across the river who's got a couple $1,000s worth of rods and reels and gear, and you think it's okay, right? You think that this is the way to do it. It's just a monkey see, monkey do, right? Well, there needs to be some more education, maybe too.
From what I saw down at Mike,
I would
there
agree
was
with that.
no thousands of dollars worth of gear. It was all.
No, when I was down there earlier in the morning.
No, I mean at My Creek.
When I was down on the Gainey in the morning that day, there was some real nice flow rods and flow reels and $1,000 pair of waders going on down there.
When you're fishing and you don't even this one girl, she had a spinning reel.
Yes.
Like a 6 foot, 7 foot spinning reel, and she wasn't even opening the bail.
No.
She was just casting it out and pulling it.
Yes.
Casting it out and pulling it.
Like
that.
I think Sean's got a great point too, that we don't even have the funding to police this.
No.
Right?
And that, just I think a presence.
Presence?
A presence.
But we have a lack of education too. I really think that there's like the Chinook salmon have been around here since 85, 86, give or take. And people always have thought they ate air plugs and that, it's kind of been the norm. So the second generation, maybe even the third generation of salmon fishermen has been taught wrong on how to do this. You can totally catch them when they're close to the lake.
I kind of got an idea.
Let's hear it.
So you have to go to school to become an M&R officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So while enrolled in a program like that, why couldn't they do like a junior policing program?
Like a co-op kind of thing.
Right?
Yep.
Where they could, yeah, you could get so many hours, you could go down, and maybe it wouldn't be to hand out tickets per se, but
Be
hand out
present.
warnings,
Be-
be
hand out
present,
warnings.
make a presence, right?
I think, and
because
I'm,
people aren't going to know you're down there in the vest and the badge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
it. You're junior officer, whatever. I think that would
Squirt gun.
yes, yeah, right in the eye.
yeah, I think 95% of the anglers who are down there have no idea they're doing anything wrong.
That's probably true.
I really don't think they have any clue that they're doing anything wrong. Now, we're about 35 minutes in here. You want to cover one more topic, and we'll have a quick break,
Sure.
and then we'll get to the big stuff.
Here's a pretty big one.
Let's hear it.
Well, we had
I thought you were going to say demolition derby.
Demolition Derby. No, we had a buddy of ours, Matt Pizzetta, on the show there
Yes.
a few weeks ago, and everybody knows all the controversy surrounded Matt Pizzetta and his partner Darren Joyner with the B1.
B1
So
with the boat.
we've got some news coming out with that. Well, they're going to release their official statement tomorrow. Matt Pizzetta.
In the next 24 hours.
next-
in the
24
next
hours.
24 hours. So anytime in the next 24 hours, mattpizzetta.com, PEZZETTA. And he's going to release it there, and I imagine he'll be releasing it through social media
Yes.
as well.
There's going to be an official statement of their side of all this and
Yes.
what is going on. We haven't heard it yet. They weren't able to talk to it on the phone, but it's coming. Within 24 hours. It could be up in an hour, or it could be up in 23.
Yes.
Right.
I'm really excited to see what this has to say.
Yes.
Me too.
We've heard a lot of rumors, but we haven't heard from the cat's mouths exactly what they have to say.
No, they've been silent about it.
They have been
Yeah.
very silent. So that's exciting. I'm really excited to share. We'll share it on the FearFishing live well too, in case
Yes.
anybody's looking for it. But why don't we take a 2 or 3 minute break?
Sure.
And then we're coming back with the big news from the United States. Is there's a new race in town.
There's no horse in town.
There's a new race in town. A lot of things are going to change. There's a lot of questions to be answered still, but we're going to give our opinions on what could happen and how we balance here in Canada and what may happen here in Canada in the tournament series.
Yeah, man.
Okay, back in 2. We're back. Mark's coming. Nice to have a little break there. I refilled the old Paps. Mark went to the little boys' room. Anybody who's ever been on a fishing trip with Mark hunting trip, you know he needs to use the little boys' room every 40 minutes. Most of the time these run too long, and he goes on the seat twice. Anyway.
I'm crushing a Palm Bay.
You having a Palm Bay tonight?
You
Crushing.
can't say crushing. You got to say I'm
Sipping? Tickling?
Vodka soda.
It's nice to have
Wow.
It's nice to have a beverage and relax and talk about fishing. I hope all of you at home got a beverage. Unless you're driving, listening to this on iTunes, then
don't do
please
that.
pull over. Call your wife to come get you.
Because I know you got to pee.
Now, Amber, do we have a couple comments about the best epic name for we can give away this RLM box?
Maybe we should just people that have just tuned in, let them know
Yes,
what's going on.
this is what we're doing. We're not voting yet. But hold that up, Mark. Folks at home can win an RLM Elite box, your choice of the pike, bass, walleye, or multi-species angler. All you got to do is come up with, while we're live, I don't want 150,000 messages tomorrow. You got to be live. Your epic kid angler name. So we have so many great anglers in the tournament world who have great nicknames and great for Skeet Reese. He doesn't even need a nick. You don't even need a nickname with a name like Skeet Reese. What would you name your son or daughter to become a professional bass fisherman? Do we got some, Sean? He's smiling over there.
Because I got a mangina, says Mike Gray.
Nice.
Because I'm drinking a vodka soda.
He's the guy that drinks Palm Bays by the case. What's he talking about?
Him and Sean Quinn. I always hear Sean Quinn talking about Palm Bay too.
Every time they're in a tournament, that's their bet. A 2 for
Really?
Palm Bay.
Really? That's what they bet each other?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right
And
now.
you know what? Their biggest accomplishment was drinking 60 or something.
Oh my
You
God.
want a dirty hangover? I drank 24 Palm Bays one night. You want a dirty hangover?
Sugar.
Dirtiest hangover I ever had. Couldn't even open my eyes the next day.
You
That's
gotta
how
mix
much
it
my head
with
pounded.
beer. Half and half
Ugh.
with beer.
Yeah.
Amber, do we have any
Yes.
nominations?
Yes.
Nominations? Is
I've
that what we
picked-
call them?
I've picked 2 so far that I like.
Okay, let's hear them. We're all going to vote at the end.
Yes.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's give us a couple.
okay. Cool Hand Fluke.
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Gennaro Berardi says Goat.
You don't want to name your kid Goat.
Go.
Pirate.
Unless
Unless
it's
he's cutting
like
the lawn.
unless the goat is just how it works out in the middle, like George, Optimus, Alexander, Tamonte, goat. That might be goat places.
I like Kicker Keeler too.
Kicker killer. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good
So
one.
get your while we talk about stuff here for the next 40 minutes, make sure you get your
Thinking caps.
your
on.
thinking caps on. Come be creative, kids. We're gonna vote on this.
Rich Asen had a pretty good one.
Let's hear it.
Cullen.
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 I get it.
We got exciting news too just before we came
Yes.
live.
Yep.
The Bowmanville tackle swap is happening again.
It is. And if you guys have never been to the show, you got to get out there. It's a one-day thing. And let me tell you something. There's no other show out there.
It's got to be on for 6 years. Peter Seto has done an amazing job over the
Incredible.
years pulling this
Incredible.
show off.
Yeah.
We have heard there's going to be bigger things, bigger, new, exciting add-ons to the show this year. But
Yep.
Sean, you got the dates right there.
Yeah, it's going to be March 10th.
2019.
Yeah.
I've said 2018
And that's
about
around.
100
Yeah,
times.
that's around
Yeah.
the
2019.
around the March break area.
Yep. March
Yep.
10th. Put that on your calendar. March
Make
10th.
sure you're there. We will be there 150%. I really enjoy going to that show.
Yeah.
I love
so do
that
I.
show. Yeah.
I enjoy going to all the fishing shows that I'm invited to, but I really like that one. There's just a ton of people. They raise food for the food bank.
Yeah. They
It's
do
just
all
a good
kinds
community
of, all
thing.
kinds of charity stuff
Yeah.
there.
All kinds of things
March
for the
10th,
kids to do,
2019.
giveaways. Great show.
Where is it?
It's at the Central Collegiate. I should know this because my
You
daughter
live in
went there,
Bowmanville?
and my daughter went there.
Oh, awesome.
Central CCS they call it.
Okay.
CCS.
That's the high school there in Bowmanville, right over
Yeah.
by the theaters, right?
Yeah, right behind Home Depot and that. Yeah.
Now, for the big elephant in the room. Major League Fishing has announced that they were going to run their own professional 8 series event with 80 anglers
80.
next year.
This
80.
is going to rock the fishing industry.
Oh,
rock
yeah.
the fishing world. This is huge. This is I can't even. This is like for anybody listening at home who doesn't follow
Bass, FLW.
Bass tournaments, Bass Masters, FLW. This is like the NHL adding or on a competing company coming out with a new hockey series and taking away more than half of the stars to the NHL.
This is like the best players on every team getting together, starting their own league.
Yeah, exactly.
And taking
Totally.
Yeah. And
Well,
just
that's
leaving.
exactly what
Just
it is
leaving.
it not?
It is
It is.
100%. We're going to use some statistics here from the Ike Live show, and Ken Duke was on there on
Yes.
September
Yep.
9th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
We won't get to all the points that Ken talked about, but if you listen to that podcast, you're going to get some real insight into not only the bass world, but like the entire fishing industry.
What day was that podcast?
September 9th, 2018. It just came out, but it came out before the major league announcement too.
Yeah, I was like,
Mark's mic isn't working.
It's not?
Oh no.
Or talk closer.
How's that?
Yeah, that's better. You probably have to turn it this way. That's how them things work.
Oh,
Where
yeah?
you talk into them at the
That's
top.
funny because your wife asked him to turn your mic up.
She's never told
You got
me
to
be
talk into
louder.
those. So it's
funny.
very exciting news. The first bass event ran in 1967,
Yes.
right? It was $100. Ray Scott started bass,
Yes, he did. Yep.
right? On the Ike Live show, they talk a lot about how bass hasn't really, or the bass tournament industry hasn't really grown since
No.
about '84.
Not for the anglers.
How
Not
much
for
was
the
it? How
anglers.
much was it to get in a tournament?
$100 to enter that tournament, and Ray Scott paid back to the winner $2,000, 1967.
Yes.
This
20 to
year on the 20 to 1, but
20
this
to
year on the
1 ratio.
Bassmaster Elite Series, entry fees are around $5,000 per event.
Yep.
8 events, 40 grand. You can win $100,000, which is exactly the same pay ratio
20
as
to
in
1. 20 to 1.
1967. There was also another comment on 1984, I believe. The first Bassmaster TV show aired in the United States on TNN Outdoors. We all used to watch TNN Outdoors on Saturday mornings, right?
Yep.
300,000 people, viewers, tuned in to watch that. When they aired the last event of the season on ESPN2, the number's around 300,000 people. So the TV show fan base hasn't really grown either.
There's been really zero growth.
Zero growth. Bass, for example, the subscription, you become a Bass member, you get a subscription to the magazine,
Yep.
right? You get to fish OBN events up here in Canada, right?
Yep. Yep.
They have just over 500,000 subscribers. Now we thought that was a big number.
We thought it was a huge number, yeah.
Yeah, until-
so I said, yeah, well, how many people read people?
18 million people read Sports Illustrated a week, subscribe to Sports Illustrated. So we're not even, the
Tiny.
bass industry is not even close.
Tiny.
Tiny.
Well,
What
this is the whole thing. They're trying to put fishing in a major league sort of way.
That's the entire plan here.
Spectator sport.
Before we get into what the new series could be, let's discuss what they have in the United States right now. We found out this on the Ike Life show that it dropped our jaws.
Yeah, it did.
They don't even have a big bass pool run by bass. There's no. Back in the day, they used to give a bass boat away for the winners of the big bass in the Elite Series. Right now, and I think that Mike said that in 2003 they started this, or sometime. Kevin Van Dam walks around before the tournament and collects cash from the Elite Series pros to have a pool for big fish of the tournament.
Can you believe that? It's like a clubby.
Right? And I didn't know this.
No.
But the Bassmaster Elite Series, the payouts, they're fishing for each other's money.
Yes, they are.
They're not bumping it up. There's that's $5,000 a tournament. 108 anglers.
What goes in gets paid out.
That's
Yes,
right.
Yes. There's no top up.
There's no top ups from Bass. There's no sponsorship money from Bass going to the anglers. So it's not really professional sports, right? It'd be kind of like if all the NHLers or NFLers got together and paid an entry fee to play the game, and then whoever won the Super Bowl, and then they paid out structure that way.
First, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Throughout
yeah.
the season and in the breakup between the teams, like I honest to God didn't think that that's how the Bassmaster Elite Series won, and I'm going to assume that that's how FLW runs their show too.
It's unreal, eh? Unbelievable.
It is, and you know, it's not really. It is professional bass fishing, but it's never going to be taken seriously until they're not fishing for their own money.
That's right.
Do you know?
That's right.
That's what I think
Yeah.
personally, anyway. Now, Major League Fishing has been on for quite a while. It takes away. It's not a 5 bass limit. It's how many 12+ inch fish you can catch in the time period, and it's not so much set up for an 8-hour, bass tournament that we're all used to. It's set up for TV.
Yes.
It's set up for viewers. It's set up for
2 sessions.
two
right?
sessions. It's set up for that. It can be run on prime time on CBS Sports. Like it's set up for TV and
Yeah.
viewers.
Well, we had this conversation earlier about Bass Live is really, really, really cool.
I love Bass
Yeah.
Live. I think that personally, you can learn more about fishing. I'm going to totally bite my own foot off here, but I think you could learn more about bass fishing watching Bass Live than you can watching any other TV program on fishing.
There you go.
You get to actually watch the anglers struggle. You get to watch the anglers do well. You get to watch the anglers make their decisions. Throughout the 3 days of Bass Live, you get to watch who the top 4 anglers, and they change sometimes, right? You get to watch somebody just absolutely lose it. You get to watch Chad Pipkins lead the event and struggle all day and be the most positive person on the planet and get your 5th fish on a rock pile 2 minutes from the boat launch.
There you go.
Right? You get to actually see the struggle.
Watch
But-
the
What
vlog.
you're saying.
But yeah, totally.
But that's cool and everything. But that's only relevant when it's live.
I will admit that sometimes I watch Bass live over, like from last year. Bass has been
But
posting.
it loses its appeal.
It does,
that
and
viewership.
you know what? The difference is that if you want to watch a whole Bassmaster live, it's 6 hours a day.
Yes.
Friday, most people are working. Saturday, you're spending time with. It's really hard to watch 6 hours of 3-day coverage.
I know lots
Whereas
of people that do it.
There's this guy shut life down to watch Bass Live. But Major League Fishing is more tuned towards a 22-minute program on a big
Yes.
network
It can be aired anytime and still be real cool.
and still be real cool. Now, I wonder, here's a question. Do you think with this new 8-tournament series, they'll run like MLF Live? And it's not even MLF. I believe it's going to be called the Bass Pro Tour.
Yep.
BBT, yeah.
The BPT.
Pro Bass Tour, isn't it?
Pro Bass Tour.
PBT.
Will they run live events? Thoughts?
So, I could see like when they do their normal MLF show with like 4 anglers, 5 anglers, and they're
I love
but
that show.
What happens when you have 80? How much of these guys are you really gonna see?
Probably the top 4.
At any
I
one
don't
time?
know. I'm just.
Like, how are they gonna do that?
We should also say that we have no involvement in this.
No
We never got an invitation to fish this. We're purely talking as
speculation.
as speculating and as fans of the sport.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is like, if bass hasn't seen a lot of growth, Major League Fishing seems to have all kinds of viewership and growth. I had a really so if we listen to Ken Duke last year in the United States, they sold 8,000 bass boats.
Yes.
Right? 4,000 of them were tournament ready, like top of the line Rangers, Nitros, Tritons with, the whole deal, electronics. Of those 1,000 boats, 200 of them went to
The pros.
the pros.
Yeah.
Up here in Canada, I had an amazing conversation with Mr. Jim Lacey this week, and we'll get into in a second how cool it was. But Jim told me they sell between 250 and 300 big bass boats in Canada. And I think
That's for all manufacturers, or that's
yeah,
just
I believe
Rangers?
that was for the all manufacturers, and that would have been like 19 feet and over with a 200 on it would be considered like a touring boat.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not a lot. That's a lot less boats than I thought were being sold.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim also told me that it's around 9,000 worldwide. So they are selling some boats overseas. Italy has big bass fishing.
Yeah.
China, Japan has big bass fishing. South Africa.
Yep.
Right? So they're selling some boats overseas. I thought that number would be much larger.
Yeah.
I was actually quite shocked
Yeah.
to find out that in the United States, the mecca of bass fishing, they're only selling 4,000 big boats a year.
Unreal.
It sounds like a big number, but it's really not a big number when they have 365 million
Mm-hmm.
people.
And everybody's got a boat down south.
It seems like
Everybody
anywhere
in Texas does, anyways.
right.
It's true.
So I think we'll break up this conversation for I can talk about my conversation with Jim. So here, I'm such a bass fishing geek. I'm messaged Jim for I could ask him some questions about bass fishing or about White River Marine, which is the Nitro Ranger group. So I sent him a private message on Facebook, and Jim's nice enough to give me his phone number and told me to call him when I have a second. So I was filming the vlog. So I'm like, I'm calling. I stop, and I'm putting up the Autonomy River. And Jim, he's a super nice guy. I don't think I'd ever talked to Jim on the phone before, but an incredibly nice gentleman. So we get talking about this, and we're talking about boat sales, and we're talking about, for example, they sell 250 to 300, but the most popular boat they sell in the bass boat world is a Ranger, but in the aluminum boat world, the most heavily sold boat is a Tracker Deep V, 16 to 18 foot. Is like that's the fisherman. When you take out the tournament aspect, that's like the multi-species.
Cottager.
That's their best seller, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So we're putting up the river, and Jim's he's probably spent half an hour of his day talking about me. So he gets onto this. I asked a couple questions about the MLF, and he said he was on a conference call with Kevin Van Dam and Johnny Morrison, right? So I'm trying to stay cool on the phone, but I'm like, I know somebody who talked to Johnny Morrison. How cool is it? Or Johnny Morris, right?
Yeah.
Totally messed that one up. But I was like, oh my God, he got to talk to the $10 billion man who owns Bass Pro Shops and
Owns
basically controls the fishing market.
Yes, he does.
So we were talking about that, and I just thought it was really cool that I had talked to somebody who talked to Johnny Morris, right? Which is like, when I was a kid, we went to the Bass Pro Shops as like vacation, not to buy anything, just to look around. So, with that being said, Johnny Morris, and I believe this was like hours after the official announcement come out, we find out that Johnny Morris and the Bass Pro Shops have teamed up with Major League Fishing to make this happen.
Yes.
Which is huge news, right?
Well,
so
there's the money.
There's the money, right? They've also teamed up with the gentleman who owns the Outdoor Life Channel or Outdoor Network in the United States.
Yeah.
Now here's the breaking news, or not breaking news, but the crazy part is that you're gonna have to pick a series. You can't be in the past. You could fish Major League Fishing and the Bassmaster Elite Series or the FLW.
Yeah.
This year or next year, you're gonna have to make a choice.
Well, they're not saying you cannot fish another series. They're just saying that you can fish our series, but we're going to make it pretty near impossible for you to fish anything else.
Yeah,
just
with conflict.
scheduling and logistics and all that kind of stuff.
Right?
Well, they're going to be employees, correct?
Yes. From what
Everybody's
I
gonna get a
understand,
paycheck.
they're going to get salaries, and the payouts are going to be better than they've ever been in bass fishing before.
Yeah.
Or higher than they are now. Now, with that, 80 guys are going from the FLW and the Elite Series. I would imagine that most of them are Elite Series guys leaving. I would bet 70 guys are leaving the Elite Series or have got invitations to go.
Yeah.
The big names for sure. Ike, Kevin Van Dam. We listened to the BTL podcast with Evers.
Yep, Evers.
Sounds like he's packing his bags and going Major League Fishing. Boyd Duckett,
Yep,
for sure.
He's an owner, right?
Yeah.
He's an owner, right? There's,
Yeah.
I believe, 13 Elite Series pros who are owners, or like originally bought into the idea.
We don't know their names.
We don't know their names. We were trying real hard to speculate.
Yeah.
We were like looking into
I think
things.
there's like probably a handful of guys that you can say, okay, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
But it's that other 7 or 8, 9 guys that you don't really know.
So what happens when you lose all your stars in your bass? Right?
You scramble.
Man,
and
I
you
would,
make
I
a
would,
new
I would
game
think it
plan.
hard pressed to FLW to keep Scott Martin and Brian Thrift, especially like if they're guaranteed paychecks,
Yeah.
right? And from what Evers said, this really sounds like it's a group of anglers making a series for anglers to promote anglers, because in the past,
To take care of anglers.
I know that you've heard Mike, and Mike Iconelli is a very outspoken man, and he talks his mind. He's complained a lot over the years about being managed and missing out on his Ike Live show, and now there's an opportunity to run the show. run your, like, what did you guys say
Yeah.
when we were talking before? Basically, they get to run their own careers,
Yes.
right?
And I can't think of any other sport that has done this where the top guys in that sport have branched out to take care of themselves.
Yes.
Like, it's pretty, wow.
So we heard rumors that last week Bass had like a conference call with all their anglers, telling them to hold off. That this week there would be another conference call, and Bass would kind of make concessions.
They got to sweeten the pot.
They got to sweeten the
They've
pot,
got to
right?
do something. They know they got to bring something to the table to the anglers, or this is going to be.
So what
their
happens?
demise.
So we are huge fans of going to the Bassmaster Classic.
Yep.
Is this going to be the 2019 Classic, the last of the great classics, where like all the big names are there, and then next year it's watered down?
It could very well be.
If 70 anglers leave the Bassmaster Elite Series, where do you find 70 guys to fill those spots?
I'll take one.
Like, we'll get guys, but they're not going to be. It's pretty hard to replace Evers, Kevin Van Dam.
I think after a couple seasons, there'll be a lot of guys come up into stardom. Like,
Sure
Yep.
there's going to be guys. There's going to be like, look at all the college fishing going on down there.
Yep,
right
for
now.
sure.
You know,
And it's not just about what they're on the water. It's the kind of person they are off the water too, and the
Yep.
different personalities they bring to it, like Swindle, and
Yep.
you know, like Reese.
Now, here's another play. How many of the guys? Nobody grew up wanting to win a General Tire Cup.
True.
Everybody wants to win the Bassmaster Classic. Like,
Yes.
man, even kids up here in Canada, if you're a bass fishing, you want to win the Bassmaster Classic. That's the dream.
Mhm.
How many guys turn down this opportunity to stay in battle for a Classic? It still means something if those names aren't there.
Oh, of course it's gonna.
It still means something to win a CSFL event if Corey and Chris aren't there. You still won. Still got your name on that title.
Yep.
And so, and with new things, we're not even guaranteed that this MLF BBT is going to work.
No, I think they're giving it a 3-year trial run or something like that. They're locking these
3
guys
years
for 3
contracts for the guys.
I think they're basing it off the success of the MLF. I think it's going to have a good go. I think
it will,
I
too.
think it's going to totally change the face of bass fishing as we know it.
I
Tournament scene.
believe too. Now, what happens up here if this is a real success? Let's say that Major League Fishing, the new tournament series, 3 years, it grows and grows and grows. The 5 bass limit, I think there's something really special about 5 bass limit. And I haven't watched a ton of Major League Fishing in the past, but I did watch a bunch of episodes today. What if we get to the point where the cool thing is to have an MLF event style where there's the fish care's obviously better. We're not going to have dead fish. What goes on up here?
Well, I think we're kind of totally a different market. Like, if you look at us now, it's like basically all pro-ams down there. We're
Yep.
basically all team events for the most part.
Yeah.
There's, you have other choices for pro-ams, but I think
3
we're
years
a
is a
different
long
mar-
time, though, right?
3 years is a long time, and I think 3 years is also enough time for maybe a present tournament series to kind of look at introducing something like this.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, with
It's
the
expense.
3
It's
series,
expense.
with the 3 series we have in the United States, big series,
Yes.
they're going to spread the anglers out. They're going to water this down.
Mhm.
The major, one of them is going to be just packed full of great names. The other 2 series are going to be a little watered down. That's kind of what we've done here in Canada. We have 4 series. We have CSFL and B1. Then in
Renegade.
East, Renegade and Shootout Series.
Yep.
Right? I got some numbers today. This is not an official
And
number.
FLW Canada.
Yes.
Yes.
There's around 800 teams in club events and all these series to draw from. And that might be overshooting a little bit, but it's around there.
That's including
Everything.
Yes,
Clubs,
clubs,
everything.
everything.
Everything where 2 guys could possibly fish in a boat. And that was taken basically by opening weekend. We added the numbers up. I didn't add the numbers up. I was on the phone with Mr. Pilata. He was kind enough to, I could hear his calculator. And that's the number we came up with. Now, do you think that bass fishing would be taken more seriously if there was just one organization running everything. If there,
No.
like how, like an NFL. NFL is football. You have CFL here, but NFL is football. NHL is hockey. NBA is basketball. Major League baseball, right? And all those, if we look back in the past, there was like the American Hockey or the Western Hockey League,
Yeah.
with it, right?
Yeah.
And then it merged into the NHL and became a superpower. The AFC and the NFL at one time were total separate ones, and then became one. Then we got Super Bowl. The major leagues, the American League and the minor, whatever it is. I don't watch baseball.
No, I don't watch
What is it? The MLB and the American League became one, and then we got the World Series, right?
That was terrible.
It was.
But do you understand what I'm saying? How
I
do
know
you
what
have
you're
how do
saying.
you have three who are all claiming their guy who wins is the world champion?
I would like to see a championship with all the best of those three.
Maybe that's the key.
And then have an actual classic.
Now that would, like, man, that sounds like a great idea. If you took the top 10 from each,
Yeah.
but now we have a problem with we have a 5 bass limit, 4-day tournament, and we have all the fish you can possibly catch over 12 inches in 4 hours, 3 hours.
No, but we don't have that here yet.
No, I'm talking in the United States.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to become the superpower where right? We only do 5 bass tournaments here because they run 5 bass tournaments at Bass. Like we never had any bass tournaments in 1967 in
No,
Canada.
we didn't. No.
I believe that Bob Azumi's dad's the first one to ever run a bass tournament in Canada, Ontario. I believe that is actual fact, that I heard that somewhere on the Real Fishing Show.
Well,
I'll ask him next time.
Yeah, do for sure ask him. I believe that in Sarnia, Ontario, where they grew up, Bob's dad was the first one to run a bass tournament. So if, like, let's say in 1967 they would have done as many fish as you could. I think they did 6 fish limits back in the day.
yeah, probably.
And we did 6 fish limits forever in Canada. And then at some point we changed to 5 fish tournaments, probably because bass did it. So how much are we going to, who's going to be the leader who everybody follows suit off of, right?
I have no idea.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if MLF becomes the super champion of the bass fishing world, does everybody...
Do you think that everybody else is going to follow that format?
Yeah, I don't know. Right? If you have a tournament series that has fish kills, even if you have 1 fish kill out of a whole 100 teams, Major League Fishing is always going to have 0
That you know of.
that you know of.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they immediately release the fish. So with our day and age of, like, people are worried about the emotional, like our whole society is changing away from hunting and fishing. So does that become the answer where you don't live well fish? I don't know.
You're still sticking them.
You're still sticking them. Still jacking them up, laying on them.
Yeah.
Boat flipping. You can't boat flip in MLF.
No, you can't.
You got
Can't touch the carpet.
Can't touch the carpet.
Those are penalties.
We got any comments, thoughts out there in the social media world?
No, not yet.
I just don't get how they're going to do it with 80 people. 80 boats.
That
How
is
they're
a
gonna
lot. That
do
is a lot.
That
Well,
format with 80
it's-
boats.
I think they're going to break it up. They'll fish so many boats this week, so many boats next week. I think it's going to be like a seriously televised thing, like the Jays,
it would have to be every
and
week.
Yankees. Well, yeah,
I got you.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's what they're going to do. I don't think it's going to be a once a month kind of deal.
No, there's 8 events.
8 events,
8
but I
events.
think this event it's going to.
Well, that's the other
think
thing.
it's gonna roll.
There's no news. Like there hasn't been a release.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
It could be
so
8
cheap.
events where 4 events are 20 different guys, and then the next 4 events are 20 different other guys. Like,
That's
do you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know that 80 guys are fishing one day.
Right. We just know they're all getting a paycheck.
It's quite possible, listen, that these events run Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and 40 boats go on Thursday, 40 boats go on Saturday, and then there's a cut for Saturday, and then there's another cut. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's
That
the
would
way
be kinda cool, right?
Like it's like the way they run the MLF now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, you gotta go in, you gotta fish, you gotta qualify, you got periods, and
Yeah.
you know, we'll see
It's
you
quite
next week.
possible that they break this into day 1. They break this into, and we're totally speculating, but day 1 could be 4 periods with 20 anglers in each period to pass on to day 2.
Who knows?
That would be
I don't see
interesting.
how they're going to do it with 80 boats. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think they're gonna pay these guys?
Cash?
Base salary.
Base salary? 70,000.
81,000.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think they're going to top 100 grand.
Think so?
I think if they're trying to make it a professional series,
Yep.
I think if they're trying to elevate these anglers up into that level,
Yep.
I think they got to pay them.
And this is really so in professional hockey. There's the pot at the beginning of the season for the Stanley Cup winners,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you look at the Olympics, the United States pays cash for a gold medal, a bronze medal.
Yeah.
So this is not unheard of to run like a series where everybody gets a salary, but there's bonuses.
Yeah.
And winning a tournament would be like a bonus, right? On top of your salary.
Yep.
So like we're looking at this in an old school way to think that you win the tournament, you get paid.
And is there an entry fee that's paid by the angler? Or
I don't
there's
think
a
not in
salary and
MLF.
there's-
I think that's a big part of the
allure?
argument from the anglers, right? Like I don't even think like do golfers pay entry fees anymore?
Yes.
They do?
Do they?
Yes.
And like on the PGA, Tiger's got to pay?
Pretty sure they do, yeah.
I'm not sure. I know they used to. I could have sworn Gluzik said they didn't anymore, but at some point. I'm
I
just
have no
totally
idea.
guessing.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I think this is going to be interesting how this all shakes down. And it, you know what? Between now and the official announcement and then when we get the rosters of each tournament series, there's going to be a lot of exciting news in the bass fishing world. I think that right now between that period and the final rosters, bass fishing's really exciting.
Yeah. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see what Bass comes back with on Friday. I think. Didn't they say it was Friday?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not really privileged to when they hold their meetings.
Dave Norgrove had a pretty good point. I'm on the same side of the fence. It would be expensive to run that kind of series here,
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
why it's not here.
That's
I'd
why
say
they
it's
need
because of the
Johnny
cost.
Morris.
right? It would be expensive. I really don't think that we could pull it off.
Up here?
Here?
No, we don't have enough stars. We don't have enough.
We don't have enough scrutineers.
We don't. That's true
That's the
too.
deal here, right?
Camera scrutiny.
Now,
You need a
now,
scrutiny.
listen here. Somebody wins the 60 million Lotto Max on Friday night.
They got the money.
They got the money to do this, right? Like
Yeah.
we're realistically like the problem up here is that there's no like because we're not the United States. I don't know that there's anybody in the bass fishing world in Canada who's interested in doing this. Who's got the bankroll to pull this off? Like for Bass Pro Shops and the $10 billion man.
Yeah.
This pocket change, right? And think of the power that man has. If you
All of it.
right, if you like,
He's monopolized the fishing
if
industry.
you're
Yeah.
if you know you're a pro and you let's say you don't want to go, Johnny can kind of like be like, well,
Bully
you know,
you into it.
so such and such a company, if you would like your product in my Bass Pro Shops or you know in prime locations, you better talk to your guys.
Hey,
Yeah, like this isn't
Right?
just
makes sense.
Like this is business too, right?
And
As much as we
that's
think
all
this is
it
business, right?
That's all it is. You think
And
he's
if-
looking at this any other way?
And if you think of the $10 billion man hasn't thought of like every option here and that this isn't his best play, he wouldn't be doing this.
He's got a game plan.
Oh, for sure he's got a game plan.
And what was I going to say?
Really?
Yeah, it was really important.
That was-
but you just kept
and you
going.
and it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Oof.
Yeah.
Just like the FLW.
No,
No, I'm totally kidding. But yeah, here's another issue. If so we're gonna take away 80 anglers out of those two series and we're gonna replace 80 anglers. There's not like there's gonna be a whole lot of more sponsorship dollars from companies to be spread around more. If let's say we'll use our Daiwa team in the States for example, right? They have their set of pros who fish FLW and the Bassmaster Elite Series. They have the Elite Series rods. Just because there's a new series in town doesn't mean they're going to go get 7 more guys.
exactly.
That's their team.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. So there's going to be a lot of guys who have to fill these 80 spots who aren't going to be able to find sponsorship money to pull this off.
right.
When I remember what I was going to say.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so you got all these invitations going out to anglers and stuff.
Yep.
And there's got to be more behind it than just an angler saying, "Okay, I want to do that." He's got to consult with his sponsors
Yeah.
to see if they're on board with this.
He's got to consult with his
He's
family.
his family,
I would
everything.
love
This
to
is
see one of those
huge.
contracts.
I would too.
I would
sure these
love.
guys-
I wonder how we can find one.
I don't even think the anglers that there have been, invited have seen one. Right?
I don't know how much information they're getting ahead of time. Well, whoever owns MLF, and we speculated, we're not going to say share the names. We're speculating who we think owns MLF, just the way they talked about MLF. Those guys got to know everything. Those guys got to be in those boardrooms. They got to be on those conference calls.
It's their brainchild.
That's right. So they know.
They're doing this for themselves.
I would think that if, I feel like it's probably some of the older guys who've been in the game for a long time who had the bank to invest in this.
These guys are making a retirement plan here.
I would think that that's
That's what they're doing.
right. They're making the bank that they thought they should always got.
Yeah.
Right. If you think about like sponsorship dollars and really that you're fishing for your own money, it would be hard pressed to think that Kevin Van Dam had ever made the NHL league minimum in a season just from tournament winnings.
No.
You can't do anything really from just tournament winnings.
Right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like the fourth line right winger for the Tampa Bay Lightning probably makes more money than 99% of the, unless somebody like totally smokes it out of this world. But the Classic's only worth $300,000.
Yes.
So if you won 2 events in a Classic, you make $500,000, right? I'll guarantee you that fourth line winger makes more than that.
Yep.
I think the league minimum in the NHL is around $930,000.
I think it's a great play.
I think this is a good play too. I think this nobody will ever mess with them again, even if it fails. Let's say that it lasts 3 years and they decide that everybody's going to the Bassmaster. They'll be taken more seriously. This is almost better than unionizing.
I was just going to say that.
All professional sports are unionized, are they not?
Yeah.
Right? This is actually better than unionizing because as owners, and I kind of feel like those 80 guys are almost going to be stockholders in this. It's that their opinions are going to be heard. Even if they have to go back to FW and Bass, they're going to be a lot more educated on the business side of this. Those 80 guys are going to get a business lesson here.
And when they go back, hopefully that Bass is up the ante a little bit and is a little more.
It's going to be real interesting. It's going to be exciting.
I'd love to be on a fly on that wall in that Bass conversation on Friday.
It's all going to come.
I don't know that it's Friday. I think it's this week sometime.
Is it?
Friday works for me, though.
We'll say Friday.
Friday. Maybe there's... I just know I heard there's that going on. It could be totally false. We've had bad sources here in the past.
Yes, we have. Lots of them.
Yeah, we have.
OBN.
OBN. Just spill out... give those high school kids a shout out.
Yeah, last weekend they had the high school youth championship.
Yep.
The OBN on Lake Couchiching. First off, I got to thank all those boaters that
Gave up
those
their
captains that came up the time 2 days to take these kids out, and I think it was 27 teams, so that's 27 guys that are stepping up, and well done. And the winners this year, I hope I'm saying these names right: Josh Petrie and Lucas Sine.
Congratulations, boys!
With 32.18, I believe it was over 2 days. So
congratulations,
two
boys!
nice bags of fish.
That's really cool.
Good job.
I really wish they had high school fishing when I was in high school.
Yeah, man, that's so cool.
I'd have went to a lot more classes.
No, you
especially if you need like a C average to be on the fishing team.
Yeah, so well done, guys.
Well done.
And their captain, Steve Barrett.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good work, Steve Barrett.
Don't know Steve, but I do know a lot of the guys that stepped up, so good job, guys. My hat's off to you.
Congratulations. There is a ton of stuff going on. You can imagine, so we have 2 weeks till the next webcast. Imagine how much news is going to be out in the next 2 weeks. How much of this stuff's going to spin. And I would imagine as soon as the invitations start going out and some will be starting to receive, we start leaking who's going.
Yeah, for sure. And who's involved.
Yeah. It's going to become more and more public knowledge. And at some point, it's going to trickle back I believe that the effects of what goes on down there at some point will trickle back to what's going to go on here for the future of our sport.
So the Ian West that I know is going to monitor this pretty damn closely. And
Absolutely.
You'll put on the live well.
Yes, I will.
What's going on? If you find any more information.
I'm hoping to be guy 81.
Guy 81. Eh?
Almost there.
If Johnny, you need somebody, a backup,
Yeah.
I'll just drive around in case somebody's boat breaks down. You can throw me in the game. I feel that I'd be way better at catching.
Put me in, coach.
I feel like I'd be way better at catching.
Will work for food.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be a whole lot better catching 30 dinks than 5 big ones.
You know what? I did an MLF, and it was fantastic.
I think we're going to do something like that.
We are going to.
We're going to try to figure this out.
Yeah.
I think we're planning something like that for this weekend.
Yeah,
aren't
we're
we?
going to do something, a fun thing, and try it. I've never done it
Yeah.
before. It sounds like a great time. Like, it sounds like something different, right? So I think
man.
we're going to try to do something fun, have a little fun with this. But for the next 2 weeks, keep your ears and eyes open. This is going to. I think this is really going to change things.
And how are we going to do the scoring?
I think we're going to download the app or the thing.
Yeah, but you're just going to put your own fish in, Ian? I don't know if I
Yeah.
trust you.
Mine will be on.
I
Mine will be on camera.
That's the whole deal.
Yeah.
5 pounds.
As he holds it up to the camera, as he's pulling the tail.
Yeah.
Yup.
Hey, go winning's winning.
You can't weigh your hand.
Do we have? With my hook in it.
Yeah.
That fish weighs 211 pounds. Yeah, well, why wouldn't it count if it was attached to me?
No.
No. Do we have any more
Name suggestions?
name suggestions?
Oh yeah, there was a ton.
Oh, read them out.
Uh,
Deer hunting's coming up, Mart. I got a group of bachelor bucks hanging around my stand. I checked my camera once. I think that my favorite part about hunting is checking that camera.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
you
do
like
too.
checking your cameras, yeah.
Yeah.
I like checking my camera.
I like going out to my stand and sneaking my card out of my camera
That's what
and
I
then
do every time.
popping
Then I
my
go
card
up-
into
It is
my
really
phone
cool.
and gives me something to do.
Yeah.
While
I really
it keeps
like.
me nice and still too, because you got to be like a statue when you're sitting in your tree.
Yeah. So I check my camera.
Yeah. I know ADHD over here.
Yeah. Not so hot.
Yeah.
So I checked my camera. The coolest thing I ever saw, or not the coolest thing, the weirdest thing I ever saw. Last year I had a couple golden retrievers who used to come eat my apples at 2 o'clock in the morning every day.
Mm-hmm. I had an old guy standing in the middle of my big
Yeah,
pile.
you did. I had a guy walk by with who was collecting vines.
Vine? What would you collect?
He had like a
vines for?
basket of vines, but it was near Christmas time, so he was like for wreaths.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Somebody's been watching Pinterest.
Wow.
I'm excited. I got a group of 4 bachelor bucks. None of them are that big, but it was cool. I only had the trail cam out for 4 days, and
Yeah, you did.
I had to get something in there. We're gonna try something new that we picked up at East Hill Outdoors. The apple shake on.
It's like a powder.
You both
Yeah.
look at me at that, and I'm like, okay, what is the
I don't
apple
know.
shake on?
Kyle
What is
Crothers told us about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Kyle Crothers sold us on this. It was like a must-have. Go to get it right now.
Okay.
You buy a bag of this for I couldn't even. It's on the front seat of my car, the FearFishing truck. So you buy a thing of this. You mix a tablespoon with about 50 pounds of corn, and it makes the corn all smell like apples.
Okay.
Apple corn.
Apple corn. So we're trying this year. Kyle Crothers told us that it's awesome.
Well, if there's anybody to know anything about any product to do
For
with
sure.
fishing or hunting,
And he
it's-
gave us a list of about
it's Kyle
7
Crothers.
different companies or products not to buy because it would mold. And he's like, this is the one.
Yeah.
Buy this. He's like, $20 worth of bag would do
All
2
year.
tons of corn.
That's about what I go through. a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, I
excited.
already bought a bunch of stuff. I took it up to the camp, and I was so stoked. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this out at this time, this out at this time, this out at this time. My buddy called me a couple weeks ago. He's like, the goddamn bears ripped the door off.
No
They ate all your food.
No way.
No, yeah.
We're
Just
at in the
trashed
shed?
it.
In the shed?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm excited for hunting season. I really enjoy sitting in my tree stand and watching deer, and I really like going.
Me too.
It's so relaxing and quiet out there, cold. And then yeah.
Relaxing in the cold, eh?
I just like hanging out up.
Eating
Let me
Pringles.
tell you,
You
it's
know
one
what?
of my most favorite things to do.
There's something like there's not very many like excuses you can have to climb up a tree and sit there at 36.
Yeah.
We got anything else to cover?
You want to hear those names?
Oh yeah, I guess we should
Yes,
probably
yes,
do
yeah,
the
yeah,
giveaway of the RLM Elite Box.
So we've already had Cool Hand Fluke
I like that.
Kicker Keeler.
Kicker Keeler.
Then we have, I'm assuming this is Turd Ferguson. And then
Nope.
Rod Bender.
Rod Bender.
Nice.
Finn Stinger.
Finn Stinger.
Line Master. Master Baiter.
That
Little Wiggler.
was Mark's
Little
name when he was
Wiggler.
a kid.
That's my name now.
Trademarked.
What is that?
The Stick. Trademark. Joan McKee Hunter actually said Toad Hunter.
Toad Hunter.
Toad Hunter.
That's actually not bad. You
Bad
could have named your kid
Blaster.
Toad.
I'm gonna Hannah. Your new name's Toad.
Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you cast.
Ah!
Jabberjaw. Cullen McLovin.
Colin McLovin.
Jeff Ripples. Jason Boatman. Basshole.
This guy's got a pretty good name, and it looks like it's actually his own name, Sean Fishback.
Sean Fishback. No way.
Yeah,
For real?
yeah, that's his name. That's what his name come up as.
Sean Fishback.
Sean Fishback. Is
You remember who
watching
was
it.
that guy who used to MC the Elite Series before Mercer?
Fishburne.
Fishburne.
yeah.
Is that his real name?
I'm gonna say no.
That'd be dope if it was.
Yeah.
Even when I watched like 1980 whatever
Excuse me.
classic on YouTube,
Yep.
Fishburne was fishing it.
Damn.
Fishburne.
How are we gonna choose that?
How are we gonna choose?
Maybe we should let the fine people at RLM choose.
I'm choosing
Cullen McLovin.
Colin McLovin. I really like the Keeler. The Keeler. What was that one?
Kicker Keeler.
I like Kicker Keeler.
I liked Rod Bender. That's pretty good.
I like.
So I've picked mine. Amber, what are you going with? I'm going with Kicker Keeler.
Jason Boatman or Stiff Ripples.
Stiff Ripples. It's
Ricky
down to you two. You
Yeah.
can either agree with one of us, or you two can come up with one together. But I'm going with Kipper Keeler.
Well, I liked Masturbator.
That's too.
You can't name your kid that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine at the hospital filling the paperwork out for that one?
Yeah.
Master, last name Bader.
Masturbator. What was the Finn one?
Finn, hold on.
Finburn or something?
Maybe we should have like what's that movie? Fight Club.
If I was, I'll Fight Club you.
Fight Club. Fight Club for the RLM box.
I'm first one in.
Hurry up,
You go
Amber.
first.
Finn Stinger.
Finn
Finn
Stinger.
That's awesome.
I think the coolest name there is Kicker Keeler.
I like that name too. Kicker Keeler is the winner.
Kicker Keeler.
Send an IM with your address and all your information to the Fear Fishing page or my personal page. Just get it in, and we will have the great people at RLM send you a box.
That was
Let
easy
us
enough.
know what box you want too, if it's a bass box, a walleye, pike, or a multi-species. For all you guys who didn't win, go to simplefishing.ca. Use the discount code FearFishing. Save you $10 on your first box. I'm telling you, the boxes are getting better and better as they go.
They're pretty well.
They are getting better. They're full of hard baits. I've got a whole pile of them here, usually when we open them. Look at this. I can't wait to throw this. Gizzard shad.
Beautiful.
Freedom tackle. I got a Freedom tackle buzz bait in the boat from ROM that I didn't bring out during the classic.
Way to go.
Stupid.
Way to go.
Anything else? We got final thoughts?
I think we should have a quick little word about we lost an angler.
Yes.
I don't want to end it on a sad note, but we did lose an angler.
A
couple weeks
YouTuber.
ago. YouTuber.
I,
Yeah, fellow YouTuber as well.
Yes.
Kevin Wong.
Thoughts to his family and
Yeah,
friends.
He was actually filming when he passed, so our thoughts are out to his family, his friends, and guys, just wear your life jackets, man.
For sure. For sure. You know what? It doesn't happen a lot, but when you
it
need
does.
it, you really want to have it on.
There's people waiting for you to come home, and they want you to come home safe. So
For sure.
do
So
them a
our thoughts
favor.
with his friends and family, for sure. Sean, final thoughts?
No,
No?
No.
not after that.
Amber?
Oh, I can't. What? No.
That wasn't my final thought. That
Okay,
was
go.
just
You do your final thought then.
I don't have a final thought since Sean doesn't have a final
Well, no,
thought.
he will when you have one.
Masturbator. That's my final thought.
You know what? I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen in the next week or two in tournament fishing down in the States. I think
I think it's going to shake everything up.
it's gonna be rocking.
It's going to shake everything up across the board. I think it's going. It's
And,
a
I
new
don't-
look at everything.
I don't know if we said this or not, but better go to the next classic because it might be a watered down classic next year.
After that, this may be the great of the
The
great
last of
classics.
the greats classics.
It's true.
It
Yeah.
could
I
be.
want to see what these other series come back with.
Yeah,
You know
I'm-
what?
The whole,
really-
I'm talking about the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole,
Let's say, here's my final thought. What if bass is huge? Bass is
Yes.
the biggest
Yes.
one. Let's say, here's my final thought, my final piece. What if bass comes back with $60,000 salaries, no entry fees, and profit sharing? Who leaves? Does that mean the 13 or 14 or how many anglers own MLF are going by
this
themselves?
This is kind of like the Davy and Goliath kind of thing,
Do
right?
you know what I
Could
mean?
be.
Oh yeah.
Could be.
Let's not for that Bush. What's his name from the Wild Game Nation who owns
Bush.
Plano's Synergy? That guy's got a ton of money too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like I don't think he's that far behind Johnny Morris for the. You know, I understand that man owns more land in the state of Louisiana than the state of Louisiana owns. Let's say we're gonna throw this out right field here. Let's say they come back. They've made a deal with Plano Synergy. Plano Synergy, going to make a big push here. They bring back such a good offer that guys are like, whoa, maybe the game's changed. What if FLW and Bass combine? Maybe what if? Do you know? Like, I don't think
know
it's
if
over.
I can see that.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't
but
know.
I
I don't
think-
know that it's 100% over here.
But I think the anglers are gonna benefit whatever
No
way
matter
it
what.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I
And
think there
that's
may
good.
be an elite of elite series.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They may have their own, like instead of what do they have right now, 110?
Can you?
110
Let's
anglers in
here's
the
a
elite series.
Something like that, yeah.
108
108.
is the number.
They
Let's
may
say here's
shave
another
that down.
here's another question
Offer
I got
paychecks.
for you guys
Maybe.
before we go. Can you patent that Major League Fishing?
Tournament style?
Yeah.
No.
Can you patent that?
No, no,
Could
it's an
somebody
idea.
come up with an app that's the same that just keeps track of everybody's score that's a little different, or can the MLF like have patents on this?
I don't think you can patent an idea.
I don't know. You certainly can't patent the way they're going to do tournaments, right? Because you can't patent a 5-fish limit.
No. I don't think you can patent something like
This could get real interesting, or this could be a landslide. But I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think the people at FLW and the people at Bass are just going to watch this slide away.
that. Oh God, no.
No.
Right? Like,
No.
I think this is going to
No,
get
they're
real
in
interesting.
24-hour meetings right now.
Yeah, I think that if you're a fan of bass fishing, you really want to keep your eye on this. Go back, listen to the Ike Live show on September. I got it written down.
September
9th.
September 9th, 2018. You can watch on YouTube, iTunes, and any of those podcast and hosting. Ken Duke has some good points,
He does, yeah.
and I think that I think it's going to be an exciting couple weeks.
On the business side of things,
Yes,
he's
I
focused,
think it's
right?
going to be a real exciting couple weeks.
Wicked.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks. We'll bring you the updates. We'll keep you involved. Peace.
Out.
Out.